I believe that the hardest type of heartbreak isn't when somebody leaves you. It's when you start realizing that the person you love most turns into somebody you don't even recognize anymore. When I was younger, I met someone who felt like my first real love. And, for years, I thought that me and her would be in each other's lives moving forward. And there was a time where I didn't question anything, and I was just happy. And I didn't really know how long it would last. I was just enjoying the moment. And looking back at it now, I think that's what made it special. A person can only endure so much bullshit from a person. And, I really try to hold on and only see the good side of the relationship. But at the same time, I wasn't respecting myself and how I was being treated. I was still pretty young, and I used to think that love meant holding on to someone no matter what. But love is also accepting that someone's path is changing and not holding them back. Now I spent months wondering what I could have done. What if I texted more? What if I called more? What if I was funnier? What if I was better? But the older that I get, I realize that you can't force someone to choose you and you only. There's always going to be someone that they like more, and that's fine. I also learned that trust isn't just believing somebody's words, it's believing that their actions actually match what they say. People only think that relationships only matter when they last forever, and I don't completely think that's true. I believe that some people are just meant to be a chapter in your life that change who you are forever. At the same time, even though she did do all those bad things, I won't talk bad about her name. She genuinely made me happy. I made her happy. But at the same time, a person can only tolerate so much bullshit from another person, and then the person just gets tired, and you want to try something new. You get tired of being mistreated, and at the same time, those memories aren't just gonna fade away. Those are good memories, and I really cherish them. I was really happy. I was the happiest that I could have been. I made her happy, and all those stupid moments that we had together aren't just gonna fade away. But the person at the same time, they get tired of just repetitive bullshit. At the same time, a person isn't supposed to be here forever, and they might only be a chapter in your life that changes you, who you are later on in life.